Bror Fredrik coming at you live with episode 9 of Ask Me Anything. Obviously, we're here in the studio. Sometimes I like to do it on the strip, sometimes in the studio. Today, we're in the studio. I'm in my festive Las Vegas shirt to bring some of Las Vegas inside, and I can't wait to answer your questions. I look forward to this. I genuinely do. Let me fire up the chat, see who's here. Say hello to a few people, and then we'll get busy. What do we got? We got a bunch of people on already. 35 people to start an AMA. That is pretty freaking cool. I just got the message that I'm live, so I guess everything is working. All right, let's see who's who and what's what. All right, ready for a few hellos? Val Marie, I think you were first. Yeah, cool. I like that. Maria, Venus, Janice, Mary, all the mods are in the house. That is absolutely awesome. Sony, Cindy, keep them coming, keep them coming. What, pizza? Did someone say pizza? Sugar Bear. All right, I think I'm just about caught up. That's Tom Mac. Okay, cool. No one got the twofer today? All right, Tom Mac, you get the twofer. Angie, how you doing today? All right, let's see. All right, everyone is flying in now. BSKY, Daniel, Derek, Ms. Google, Carolyn, Marie Bell. All right, that is awesome. Great to see. Wow, just flooded in. 71 people. You guys can't wait, and so can I. So what do you think of the shirt? This was a gift from Mark 1. So, shout out Mark 1. It fits perfect. I think it looks freaking awesome. Got my playing cards. I'm doubled up on my Mjolnirs today, so my heart's feeling good. I'm ready to go. Let's crack some Pellegrino, and then I'll drop an intro and we'll get right into it. Let me get a mic check. Is my second to last Pellegrino. I got to get on board and order another one. Freaking yikes. All right. So, I'm going to drop an intro. In case you're new to the channel, I'm Bror Fredrik, and I'm going to invite you to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell button to get notified when I do this again, which is at least 5 times a week. And if you want to support the channel, Super Chat while I'm live is absolutely freaking awesome. And click on all the links in the description below. I got T. Shanley. Proud sponsor of mine, and I got Olight. Just had a great conversation with them. They're looking forward to kicking off the holiday season in style, and I got all the Amazon links and all the stuffs and channel memberships and Cash App and Venmo and yada yada yada. So if I'm blessing your life, this channel is brought to you by the support of viewers like you, and I appreciate it. If it wasn't for you, there'd be no me. Jim Wolf, let's see, who else is here? All right, everyone's here. It's 89 people. That's good. You guys are ready. I'm ready too. A little bright in here today. I was gonna turn down the lights a little, but I don't feel like climbing under the desk. But I think we're good to go. Yeah, okay. So, AMA, ask me anything. You could ask me anything. You could ask me personal questions. If they're too personal, I'll dance around them a little bit, but I'll still answer them. But I'm pretty much an open book. I believe in transparency. I'm not going to give you my driver's license. Not going to give you my social security card. Not going to give you my home address. Things like that. So don't waste your time there. You could ask me questions about yourself. And I'll give you honest answers. If you want some advice, I'm a part-time philosopher, and I got an opinion on everything, and I always try to help people. So if you want to ask a question, go ahead and do that. If you want to ask a question about Vegas, that's fine too. Whatever it is, just open. We have a solid 90 minutes. But before we get into it, little channel business. I put up a video yesterday. No, I put up 2. One accidentally went up because I wasn't scheduled till Sunday, and I did it at like freaking 2 in the morning. I pressed a bunch of wrong buttons or whatever. The guilt discipline correlation. I expounded upon that a bit. I put up a short hinting at that. and I put up the video of me losing my phone live. I not only lost my phone, I lost my shit because I was in panic mode. It's a short, like I lost my phone in the first 2 minutes, but I put up the aftermath of, catching my breath, making sure I wasn't going to have a stroke or anything. But it's pure terror. Losing your phone is pure terror. I lost it inside. I didn't lose it. I left it behind, face down on a slot machine in Paris while I was drinking water during a live stream. And thank God I found it. And that was an exhilarating feeling. That was the second time that happened. I lost my phone. Well, left it on a machine at Tuscany, of all places. Like, that had to be like 2 years ago or something. I don't know, when the casinos first opened up. And it wasn't on the machine, and it's a boom, 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 boom. I'm like this, oh my God, what am I going to do? And of course, there's locks. I got lock and biometric on it. 2-stage authentication. So I go to security. I'm like, yo, bro. He's like, what up, bro? I said, anyone turn in a phone? He's like, you mean this one? I'm like, yeah, that one. Thanks. And he's like, all right, I'm going to hold it. And if you could enter the proper password and open it up, you can have it. And he held it up. He's like this, and I'm like that, and I got my phone back, and it was the same level of like exhilaration. So that was a trip. So you see the terror, the agony of defeat, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat, or whatever. In that video. It was kind of cool, and I'm busting out a bunch of clips. I've been staying up to I always stay up to like 3 in the morning, so I made a bunch of clips of all the recent things. I did the whole video, what was that, a day or two ago? What was that, yesterday? I don't remember. Time flies. About alcohol. Deep dive into alcohol, and I'm going to cut that up separate too. I got a sneeze coming on. I'm gonna try to squash it. Janice kicking off some super chat activities with the 5 Bananagramas. Thank you very much. Let's read her message. If we had a Bro Nation get together outside of Vegas, where should it be? And nice shirt. Next April, I'll bring mine. Yeah, we gotta, because you got one too. Mark gave both of us one of these. So we gotta go twinsy. Absolutely. And thank you, Mark. Yeah, okay, Bro Nation. If we do a get-together outside of Las Vegas, where would you want it to be? Let us know in the comments. You left mine in the bathroom at work? Oh. That's why they have these little freaking things that you put on the wrist and hang it from my neck or whatever. But, wow, that was freaking... You just seen me panic. I was just like, oh, shit, oh, shit, oh, shit, oh, shit. It's funny. I thought it was funny when I watched it again. It was a good video with the thrill of emotion. Yeah, it was. Ron, hey, Ron, how you doing, bro? Cheryl, how you doing? Bro, you have multiple phones, and we all have only one to worry about. The stress, yeah, it got to. Well, this is my business daily driver. This is my personal daily driver. I'm biphonal. And yeah, losing either one of them would be, nothing. I always back up, and I recommend you guys back up your computers, your phones, and all the rest of that. Abso-freaking-lutely. There's free software you can do it with, but still, it's a pain in the ass, I paid off both of these. You start out, paying them, and I just paid them off, so I own these suckers. Okay, so let's get into Ask Me Anything. That was a nice little start, right? You dig that? Because I saw a question pop up already. I'm not going to make you wait any longer. There's a clock over there. That's why I'm referring over there. I don't have a watch on at the moment. We got plenty of time. We got about 90 minutes. Venus, thank you for the 5 Bananagramas. And yes, questions attached to a super chat or vice versa will 100% get answered. The other ones, as I see them, or I think it would be a good question to answer, I will answer it. But super chatted questions always get answered. And Venus is kicking it off. Let me get back over there. A commercial popped up. That Mint Mobile dude is out of control. Who's that guy, Ryan something or other? It's like $15. I mean, I could never use it because it says unlimited. It's not unlimited. Once you hit a certain gigabitage, it cranks back down to 4. So beware. You can never stream on it. Kathy says, hey, bro, that shirt, is that a look or what, right? I had another one very similar to this. I don't know what happened to it. I got so much stuff in storage. One day I got to take time and go through it. Okay, hold everything. Let's get to Venus's question here. If you would have children, what would you want to name them? That's an interesting question. I honestly, I got mixed feelings about this one because I love the name Rachel and Raquel for women. So Rachel, yes, but Raquel, I mean, I guess because like Raquel Welch or something, that sticks in my craw a little bit. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna name my daughter Amber. That's kind of odd for me. Because I find those names, I mean, I'll be perfectly honest, I find the names Rachel and Raquel kind of sensual. I don't know if I named my daughter that, but I probably would. But then I'd have to lock her in a room forever. And if it was a boy, that's an interesting. If it was a boy, I would keep the lineage going. See, it's the unfortunate thing about me. I'll spill the beans for those of you who don't know. I don't have children. So I am Bror Fredrik, the eighth. The eighth. That's a long history of Brors. The eighth. I don't know how many people could say that, but I could legally put the eighth on documents and whatnot. So unfortunately, the lineage kind of dies with me. So I'm hoping like the asteroid hits. That way I don't have to talk my way out of it. You know what I'm saying? But I would definitely keep my name. Bror. Okay, the 9th. Isn't that a trip, the 8th? I thought originally I was the 5th or the 6th, but after doing a whole bunch of study over the years, I did indeed find out that I am the 8th. Henry the 8th, I am. Oh, Maria, you thought of that same time? What was that? My mother used to listen to that like well into the 80s. Who was that? Herman's Hermits? Henry the 8th, I am. Do. Ron says, is the water in Las Vegas safe? I've been drinking bottled water since I got here. I would suggest keep drinking bottled water. If you want the cheapest bottled water in town, go to El Super. I know it's on my side of town, not on your side of town. They should open up a second location. But I was just in there buying all my meat, and because I'm going almost pure carnivore when I empty out my refrigerator. So I'm going to be eating meat of various types. I'm not even going to disrespect the animals by calling them protein. I'm going to eat meat and salad, and that's it. And I'll be happy. They have a deal of 4 cases of 30. It was 30 or 36. It wasn't 24. It wasn't 48. It was like 36. 4 cases of 36 full-size bottles for $10. For $10, they have a mountain of them in there. So you can get 36, 72, 104, 144 bottles for $10. That is stupid cheap. Stupid cheap. Worth driving over there. But yeah, the water here sucks. when I first moved here, I since moving here, I got a whole house water filter and osmosis set up. It only costs like it's like $200 a year to swap out the filters and whatnot. And I also shower in the same water, so it's a whole house because your skin absorbs just as much poison from water as actually drinking it, believe it or not. So I got a whole house, so I even shower in relatively purified water, and because I get it from frickin' Lake Mead, and Lake Mead is nasty. It's nasty AF. And they put the chloride, the fluoride, I didn't want to go there with all that. And on my kitchen tap, the kitchen came with a beautiful, big high thing, and you pull it out, and you do all that. Beautiful, 3 different settings, and it was just gorgeous. And it wasn't a cheap plastic one, it was metal. I ripped it out, put a smaller one in so I could put a level 3 water purifier on it too. So I sacrificed being able to clean my veggies with that thing and pots and pans or whatever to drink purified water. Because some of the bottles that they sell you water in aren't really good for you either, especially if like you leave them in the car in the summer and whatnot. So you got to watch what they're made from. Like they removed BPA and now it's BP something else. It's the same shit, just relabeled. They just haven't caught on yet. But yeah, don't leave it in the car. Empty it out, put it in something else. I store water for the most part in glass containers. And I'll tell you something else. I take my big glass containers, I should show them to you. They're big glass jars and whatnot for like making iced tea. And I put them out in the sun. I read somewhere that the sun energizes the water or some such thing. If it works, it works. If not, it doesn't. But, I'm all about drinking the good water. So, yeah, long story short, get your bottled water or purify it. Get some type of purification system and change the filter often. I'll tell you a quick story. My dog nearly died. Rest in peace, Opus. My dog nearly died when he was less than a year old. I took him to Lake Mead, and he was biting at the water, like the little choppy waves and whatnot. And like he collapsed at the end of the day once we were home. And I was like, what the actual F? And he picked up some type of bacterial thing that hit him hard and hit him fast. And fortunately, they saved his life. The only place that would take him at that time, believe it or not, was PetSmart. PetSmart had a vet here at the time, and they saved him. So, yeah, the water here, there's airplanes in there, there's dead bodies in there, there's some shit in Lake Mead. Plus, all the runoff from the entire valley goes into it. No, but we purify it. Okay, anyway, back to questions. Yeah, yeah, go to El Super, bro. Absolutely. All right. El Super is the name of the store. Costco by me has 50 in a case for that's pretty cheap too. It works out about the same. 50 divided by 369 versus 36 divided by 250. Yeah, it comes out about the same cost. Bror, do you plan on doing any lives at F1 or am I getting the heck out of town? All right, and Jim asked me that again in a minute. What's your day job? Do I plan on getting out of town? No, I'm not gonna leave. I don't know. I mean, obviously, streaming from there is gonna be impossible unless I get a ticket, and haven't gotten a ticket yet. Haven't seen the the $29.99 ones. The radio stations aren't giving them away. Stupid Mirage said they'd give me 3 nights free in a luxury suite if I gave them $4,000 to sit in front of the volcano. No, I'm good. I'm good. But and Venetian, about 10 minutes before this live started, said that they would do, I think it was like 1,000, like 1,500 for a ticket in the T-Mobile, whatever, which is back behind the Sphere, if I gave them $700 for a room. So $2,000. I ain't spending no $2,000 to make 50 on a live stream. I just ain't doing it. But if there's a will, there's a way. I'll figure out a way to get close or at least perceive the action somehow. Yes, the ticket prices are dropping. Well, the ticket prices aren't necessarily dropping. It's the room prices that are dropping. The tickets are tending to stay the same because that's more under the control of F1. And F1's like, F you. We're getting top dollar. But somehow, some way, I'll figure out a way to, at the bare minimum, get in the vicinity or whatever. But it's going to be a mob scene. And the other thing is, people don't believe that there's such thing as jamming devices for cellular and whatnot, but there are, and they probably will because they don't want it streamed either. Not YouTube per se, but the thousands of people who are going to be like Facebook Live in it. I hope people bring some hearing protection. That's going to be nuts. You've never had any issues drinking the Las Vegas tap water, says BCDC. All right, one quick note on that, getting back to the water. I had kidney stones twice in the first year and a half I moved back here. This water is hard. This water is freaking hard. And I've always kind of functioned in a state of, I wouldn't say dehydration, but less hydrated because being out doing business, hi, how are you? I'm here to do X, Y, and Z. Where's your bathroom? I just never was down with that, So I consumed, water in the morning, water at night. Kind of, I don't know, you barely see me ever sweat and whatever. But I was never a big water drinker. But when I got back here, I started saying to myself, I got to get on board with the water. And the only correlation I can make between those kidney stones was the water. They say that if you've lived your life relatively dehydrated and then decide now's the time I'm going to start drinking water, you can knock those stones loose or whatever. Maybe that had something to do with it, but I've talked to other people who can swear also that the water here gave them stones, and you don't want stones. Stones is like, it's like pissing a freaking softball through a garden hose. I've dealt with some pain in my life, various levels of pain, and I had my face reconstructed about a year and a half ago, and that did not compare to the stone issue. It wasn't just, I drank the apple cider vinegar, that breaks them down, and then they come out not the size of freaking golf balls and whatnot, but the feeling of having like a knife just run through your back and out your junk for like 3 or 4 days before that, never again. Never again. And that's, honestly, that's when I put the whole house water conditioner, cleaner, osmosis filter, and whatever. And when I change them myself, so I go down and, they're in canisters and like pool canisters, and I pull that thing off. It's nasty. It is like gross, like literally gross if you saw what was in there. And just seeing that would be enough to say, I don't know about all this. Brown, black. A lot of it's coming from the pipes and whatever, but there's some funky ass shit in this water. And I don't want that funky ass shit in my body. What's my day job? My day job is Well, for those of you who, most of you already know, the 136 people who are here, I was a full-time photographer and videographer for many, 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 many years up until the shutdown. I was declared what was the word? Non-essential. I was declared non-essential. Cool. They shut down where I have my studio. They shut down the building. No one was allowed inside for about a year. So I gave that up. No intention of restarting said business. But now I'm involved in a technology and security based startup. And we've got some industry disruptive technology that we're putting forward into the world that has a potential to turn the world on its ass in terms of internet security and physical security. So that's what I do by day. I'm the creative director, and I also have input into the technology end too. So that's my gig. It's a full-time startup life. You know, we're off to the races, and you'll be reading about us one day. You know, right now we are who we are. We're doing what we got to do, but we're making moves. Okay, let's see. Tom Mack with the 5 banana rounds. Thank you very much. Everyone does digital. Do you ever get nostalgic for film photography? Absolutely, I do. I still have my F100 Nikon, which I use on occasion. It's a little difficult getting the film developed per se, but when I started my career, I started my career as a photographer when I was 17. 17. I mean, I went from driving a truck at Kennedy Airport. I started it legally, and then I started getting jobs by the time I was 18. I was a kid, but I still got the jobs. I landed them. And that's all I used to shoot on is film. And, you know, like the whole idea now, spray and spray. You know, one of them's got to be good, you know, that type of thing. And all the heavy processing that the phones do and all that. Oh, I'll fix it in Photoshop, whatever. I started on film. So you'd spend the whole day getting a scene right and taking like 10 pictures and being done with it, and then having to leave the scene up overnight in case they didn't come out the way you wanted. And then we used to, you know, with all the lights and everything, but we also used to do like test shots with high quality film back. There were film cameras that took a Polaroid back, and we'd take Polaroids just to make sure the lighting was good and all the rest of that. But the last time I whipped out my film camera was about 2 years ago, and there's just something awesome about film. And there's something especially awesome about getting your film. Do you remember getting your film? Like it showed up in that pack from Kodak or whatever, and you had a roll of 24, and on the outside it said 26. You like score, you know, you just rolled it just right, and you got an extra 2 out of there. And then the exhilaration of opening that up for the first time, and oh, that's a blurry one, oh my God, you know, nothing like that. There's nothing like that. And I still, to this day, even if you're down with the digital, I recommend people print your pictures. You know, to have them live on a phone is doing, you know, a camera, like I always say, it's a time machine. You're capturing it, a moment of time. It's a freaking time machine. You're capturing your friends, your family, your whatever, just a moment in time, a snapshot of the way it was, freezing time. It's the only device that could literally freeze time is a camera. But print the pictures, put them up, you know, leave them for posterity. You know, when we pass, no one's going to have the password to my phones. They'll never see the 2,000 pictures that are on these things. They'll never know who I was. You know, print them. Even make a photo album. It's cheap to print now. Even you could buy a printer, and the ink is kind of expensive, but you could print nowadays a 8x10 for like 50 cents professionally. 50 cents. Go get it done. Put them up, like in the old days, put them up. Enjoy them, and leave something for the people once you're gone to remember you by because they want to. That's not an ego thing. You want to leave them with a little something, to tell your story. Okay. Let's see what else. What other questions? Your first job was at the photo counter at Arbor Drugs. What is this? I'm getting an ad for a DMV processing place. Okay, let's see. Did I ever develop your own 35? No, Kathy, I never did. I never went to school to, I never had access to that. I was always self-taught. I always used commercial. I mean, when I did, like I said, I was doing it professionally and on film, then converting film into digital via commercial scanners and stuff like that, bringing that into the computer, then editing. I was a late adopter to digital because I just thought digital sucked. Now we're used to it, but when your eye is trained to see film, but I used only commercial. I didn't go to the corner store. I used commercial developers, and I did a lot of shoots in Manhattan where, like the old school couriers, the bike messengers with the messenger bag. I had a service. I'd call them up. Yo, come on down here. I got 5 rolls. Dude would come. I'd give him the 5 rolls of film. He'd pedal his ass over to the developer. When they were done, he'd pedal his ass on back and whatnot. That's how we used to do shit back in the days. Yeah. What is the prettiest photo I've ever taken or photo picture that I'm most proud of capturing? Says Salt Lake Snow Bunny. That's a tough question because I literally have thousands and thousands and thousands of pictures. That is a good question. I can't answer that off the top of my head. There's a couple of sunsets and there's a couple of highly, highly artistic boudoir pictures that I've taken of women that I'm extraordinarily proud of. The next time I do a show and tell with pictures, I'll pull them up just for you. Thank you very much. Matter of fact, I think I might have one of them on my phone. Not that that's going to show you anything spectacular. Let me see. Is it here? Nope, the one that I would consider my favorite, unfortunately, is not here. But I got a really artistic one. Want to see something cool I made? I didn't have time to make my pizza dough. Let's see if you can see that. I didn't have time to make my pizza dough. There we go. So what I did was I bought these big tortillas, corn, because I don't eat the gluten, and I made the most amazing pizza out of them, and it freaking tasted like pizza, and I layered the cheese and I gotta show you that recipe one of these days. Oh my goodness. That's still one of my favorite pictures when I got back from Nashville. All right, enough of that. Let's get back over to the chat activities. And let me answer more questions. I got coffee over here. I'm gonna get all talkative. Is it warm? I got it on the warmer. The magic of Christmas never ends. For me, Christmas started 2 days ago on the 25th. So I'm psyched. I'm putting up the tree this weekend. I am psyched. The boxes are sitting in the living room. I am psyched. All right, let's see. Ms. Google, is showing up on the podcast search beneficial or detrimental? Ooh, so far, okay. YT, twisted my onions to the point where they're just like, you gotta do the podcast, you gotta do the shorts, you gotta do the podcast, you gotta, like, they just want you to be a team player and leverage all the stuff. Like they're twisting my onions about making posts now, and what am I gonna post about? Oh, you know, I'm not an 18-year-old chick. What am I gonna do? But when I'm in the studio and they are listed and classified as podcasts as well as live streams, they just tank them. They just absolutely tank them. They, like I said, they have this thing where they're checking what I say on a more, screw face level than if I'm out on the strip for some reason. I guess they fear this environment because this environment, which would be considered a podcast, but normally with a guest, it's a little more controversial because podcasts tend to discuss deeper subjects, politics and, this and this. And I think they fear that. So I think that's a little bit of a problem. So I might go ahead and remove it off the podcast feed, to be perfectly honest, and see if they give me any more treatment, because I know every time I'm in the studio, they SB them, and I can't say the word. You see that shadow over there? Man. Doug, you love the shot of me in bed with all the cameras. Wasn't that cool? Did you notice I had my little Viking hair braid back in those days? I was totally exploring life. What is the number one thing? What's the number one thing you wish people knew about you? Ooh, what's the number one thing I wish people knew about me? I gotta think about that a second. Let me buy some time and drink some coffee while I think about that. The number one thing. That's a tough question. What's the number one thing I wish more people knew about me? Wow. See, I'm as much as I'm outgoing and transparent and everything, I also have, like, my privacy and whatnot. Not saying, I've spilt the beans enough about myself over the past 3 years or whatever. Get back to me on that one. That's an interesting question. I'm gonna answer it, but let me process that a second a bit. Yeah, definitely re-ask that question because I definitely will answer it. Da, 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 da. All right. Do I have a middle name? Do you have a middle name, Buzz, besides awesome? Mike, hey, I appreciate that. My middle name is actually Brorchen. It is. My name is Brorsian Fredrik. And then I got my confirmation name and what was it? The communion, because I was raised Catholic and whatnot. And I'm not putting down Catholics, but they gave my mother a bunch of shit, so, and they wrote their own Bible, so I can't get down with them. But so I have a communion and a confirmation name too. So my middle name is Brorchen, which is almost the same. Bror is actually a root of Brorsian. So that's my grandfather. He preferred to be called Brorsian, versus Bror. He thought Bror was a little too, like, sock you upside the head level. Bror, Bror. Is Brorsian. So my middle name is Brorsian. And thank you for those 2 Bananamas. Let me see. Let's see. Maria with the 5 Bananamas. Bro, out of all the hotels in Las Vegas that don't exist anymore, which one do I miss the most? It's still there, but Planet Hollywood, excuse me, I would have to say the Aladdin. Same place as Planet Hollywood, but when it was the Aladdin, not the original Aladdin, but that Aladdin, they treated me like royalty. I had permanent access at all times to food, beverage, and sweets. All I'd have to do is pick up the phone. They'd be like, "We'll send a car for you." That was back in the radio show days, but I used to bring people there. That's where all, at that time, the B celebrities, that's where I met Lucy Liu. That's where I ended up meeting, and hanging out with for several years, Drew Carey, what's his name, Antonio Banderas. That it was like a clique, down there that I used to run with, and, good people. But they used to take such good care of me. I mean, they'd literally walk up and be like, "You're not driving home, right?" I'd be like, "No." And they would just be like, "All right, there's a key, go crash." That was the level. The place was just my oyster back then. Whatever I wanted. I used to talk about them. They never required it of me. I wasn't like a shill or a pimp for them or anything. But being that I did have the radio show, I did speak on the place, and they used to have that amazing buffet downstairs, and they were the first ones that came up with the international stations and all that, and that was one of the only buffets back then where the food didn't go in one end and come out the other in 10 minutes, because it's all old food. But, I don't know about anymore because I don't eat at these buffets, but I used to have a friend in town. I'm digressing a bit. I used to have a friend in town who was a broker for the strip for the buffets. He used to sell them. He'd call them up. He'd be like, "Hey, so-and-so casino, I have 2,000 pounds of shrimp that's starting to smell a little weird. Expiring in 12 hours, but if you could take them in 6, I'll give you a good deal." All right, sold. That was his business. He brokered food that was about to get frickin' tossed to the buffets. I used to eat that and just whoop, just slide right on through me. So, yeah. So I do miss that. I do miss being treated like gold. And that's when, who doesn't? Let's be honest, who doesn't? That's when Planet Hollywood was really shitty to me when they first reopened. That bothered me on a different level because it was still kind of the same place that it used to be, except I was treated like shit by these new people, So yeah. 89 Jenna says, "What jobs did I have in the past?" I only had 2 jobs in my entire life, 2 actual jobs. The first one, I was a short order cook at a breakfast joint in Kennedy Airport, in the industrial park that is Kennedy Airport. And from there, all the other, kids in the neighborhood, I got a job at a trucking company because that's just what you did when you lived in the area. And from there, I got into the union and shifted over to Flying Tigers, which was a big trucking company back then. And I was like a freaking 18-year-old kid driving a big straight job, making $27 an hour, which people nowadays would love to be making $27 an hour. And I was making that a couple of decades ago for a brief period of time. But I saved up my money from that and didn't piss it away. I saved it all up to buy all the professional photography equipment that I needed, which at that time it almost cost the same then as now, but the money's different, $30 grand. And that's when I started my photography business. But those are technically the only two jobs I've ever had where I literally worked for a company or whatever. I was a short order cook. I was making hash browns and all this other shit. They'd yell back to me. And okay, 2.5 perhaps. I also worked at a bagel spot that was owned by the same people. And then they moved me to Kennedy Airport, and that's how I made the connections to get the trucking job and whatnot. But yeah, and that's how, and I've said this before, that's why, like, when you see me put, "Hey, Bror Fredrik," all over the place, that is not something I invented just for YouTube. I've heard, "Hey, Bror Fredrik," since I was 16 years old, because that's when I started working. No, 15 years old was when I started working, per se. And that's how it used to go, when I was at it started at that bagel spot, because they'd be like, "Hey, Bror Fredrik," and the other cat that was in there, his name was Jeff, but he was Yo Jeff. They'd be like, "Hey, Bror Fredrik," and then you'd hear, "Yo Jeff." It was like the two of us, because we manned the freaking bagel kettle, and it was like 150 degrees in there, and with the bagel, oh my God, that was that was a trip. But that's how long I've been hearing, "Hey, Bror Fredrik." It's not, I did not invent that for YouTube. That's a thing. "Hey, Bror Fredrik." Let's see. Bum, 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 bum. "Hey, Bror Fredrik, what's the difference between a shyster and a Shylock?" Pretty simple. A shyster is someone who's always like, on the hustle and not in a good way, like a entry-level con man would be a shyster. He's just shysty AF, This guy's a freaking shyst, Stay away from... You're buying a car from that shyst, he'll sell you some fugazi shit, Dude's a shyster. A Shylock is a loan shark, a person who puts money on the street. If you watch The Sopranos, you know what putting money on the street is. So you put money on the street, you're a Shylock. You could be both. You could be a Shylock that's also a shyster doing some fugazi shit with the money, but you don't want to... The shyster you stay away from, and the Shylock you stay away from, but the shyster ain't gonna bust your knees, but the Shylock would. Does that make sense? Okay. What's a sign of high IQ? It was... Why did my radio show end? Because of... I can't say it, because it's Y2, and we don't have freedom of peaches here, but, let's see. There was a day in September that was not the 10th day and not the 12th day. It was the middle in between the 10th and the 12th. It was the day that had two of those. September, not the 10th, not the 12th, but the one in the middle. That ended everything. That ended everything that was taking place in this town. Started a new craze. It started... If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be doing this, because that's when live streaming became more of a thing. It became important. Teleconferencing and all that, all the bulky freaking crap you used to have to do. But yeah, it was then. This town turned tumbleweed. And, a couple months later, I just jet. But yeah. Rapid Dog says, "I do a lot of walking. What are my favorite walking shoes?" Asics. By far, Asics. Asics tend to... My feet have changed. I used to be a solid 10 normal. Now I'm a 10 wide from all the walking that I've done. I calculated it to be something around 4,000 miles I've walked on the strip. I think that was a number. You guys have refreshed my memory, but I tallied all my stuff on the pedometer. Asics fit me like a glove, and they're comfortable. They are so comfortable, and if I could show you the soles, I'm wearing slippers right now because I'm in the studio, literally. They just hold up forever. I mean, the $40 ones, the $50 ones, but their real quality starts kicking in like 90 plus. But you'll have them for years, and they will look good for years, and the soles will even be good. The soles on mine, I mean, I have some pairs of Asics that are like 10 years old, and the soles are still good, and they have like 1,000 miles worth of walking on them. It's pretty freaking amazing. So I would highly recommend some Asics. All right, I think YouTube's telling me I missed the super chat activity. Did I? No, I did not. What are they talking about? What you talking about? All right. Bum, 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 bum. What is the best thing? What is the best thing that happened to me today or this week? That's easy. For once, and I do want to answer that other question. For once, this is an easy question. The weather broke. The weather broke. Right now, it is slightly overcast and about 75. You have no idea what that means to me. When I discuss the heat and my dislike for the heat, you know I like to exaggerate. You know I like to, clown and whatnot. But when it comes to heat, I'm not. I am not exaggerating. If those of you, someone could look it up on Google right now and maybe post it. But there is literally, because I'm Nordic, my people go back to Sweden and Norway generations. I mean, as far back as I can go, I can trace them back almost half of 1,000 years back there. So I have definitely got the gene. There is a specific gene that Nordic people have in their DNA that makes them highly resistant to cold. Not like I like doing that polar bear shit, diving in swimming with icebergs and whatnot. Occasional cold shower. I still like to be warm, but I am more cold tolerant than I am heat tolerant. Heat kicks my ass. I mean, it legitimately does. Right now, even in here, I can barely see it. I have it on 68. That's my electric bill. I run my air conditioner in the winter because I just like it. I could think clearer. I can focus on things better. I'm more productive. I can get more shit done. When I'm hot, it's just my body and my brain so distinctly focuses on the fact that I'm hot that I just can't get past it. I can't just be like, so it's hot out, I'm still gonna give it my all. I'm just like, this, I'm just, no. I just shut down in heat, and I just do. I don't, it can even give me brain fog. Doesn't matter how much I hydrate or anything, and it's due to that gene. Because as much as, I didn't find this out till like 2 years ago. If someone wants to look it up, gene that Nordics have, it's like H131, I think it is. I don't know. But when you have that gene, you're also highly susceptible to heat issues. And that is an issue for me. So the fact that the weather broke and now I could finally look forward to a good 6 months, maybe even 7, of not feeling literally oppressed by my environment, I can't tell you. I mean, I feel like a bear that's coming out of hibernation. I feel like now I can get stuff done. Now I'm motivated to do things around the house. Now I'm motivated to do something with the vehicle that I know I've been putting off. Now I'm motivated to do stuff. I've been hibernating, for a long time. Mary, I'm not wearing my Star Trek slippers, unfortunately. It's gotta be a little cooler in here to wear those, because It is what it is. I'm afraid to wash them, so I don't want to like. I'll be honest. I don't want to stink them up, just in case. You are welcome, Maria. Let's see. I think I missed a couple. Home from puppy school. We were moving to Vegas, and that ended. Oh, you planning on coming to Vegas when the September yada yada yada? I've never heard those words. You never heard the word Shylock before? Freaking Shylock. Have you heard the word Fugazi before? Fugazi? I mean, there was literally, I bought one of my Cadillacs. I used to be into Cadillacs because you had to be if you lived in New York, you know? You got to get the limo tint and the little opera windows in the back and whatever. I might even have a picture of that. And the place was literally named Fugazi Cadillac. I don't know what the correlation was between the two, but it was Fugazi. But Fugazi means like cheap or effed up or jive. It's freaking Fugazi. Oh, there's that picture. Wait, that's the picture Doug was referencing. That's a funny ass picture. Me in bed with 50 cameras. That was boss. All right, let me see if I can find that picture real quick. Do you guys want to see all the pictures from my photo shoot at Nillis? I mean, I got badass pictures. Do you guys want to see that? Let me know. Sorry, I got those all in a folder ready to go. Let me see if I can find that picture real quick. Me with the Fugazi Cadillac. It's so freaking Fugazi. I mean, look at these pictures I got. I got sick pictures like that. You want to see pictures like that? Underbellies or freaking F-35s? I got them. All right, come on, Bror Fredrik. Let's not waste time there, Bror Fredrik. Dun, 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 dun. I know it's in here somewhere, you rat. It's gotta be here. It's gotta be here. You guys really want to see it? Want to see a picture of me with my Fiero? I was a boss. That was the most fun car to drive ever. Was a Fiero, and if I still had that thing, it'd be worth like $40K. Frickin' Fieros. Oh, dang. Where would that be? I wonder if you could search for cars? There it is. Bang. You're gonna get a kick out of this. Hold on. That was me with my Fugazi Cadillac. Check it out. Do I look like a New Yorker there? F to the yeah. What was I wearing? All black. Yeah, okay. And that was me. I was like, shit, that's a little blown out. You can't really tell. I was like, I don't know, 18 or 19 in that picture. So, like I said, I haven't shaved since I was like freaking 12. But yeah, that was a boss vehicle. And I had a pickup too that was sitting in the back over there. Yada, yada, yada. I had a bunch of cars. I was making a coin back then, you know? Compared to money nowadays, money was easy back then. But yeah, black from head to toe. Looking good there, bro. What up? All right. Enough about me. Enough of me strolling down memory lane. Let's get back into it. I want to see questions. I want to see all the questions. Looks like a good guy's nightclub you're in front of. Was I slick? Yeah, my face is a little blown out there. Yeah, they were the old Cadillacs. That was a Fleetwood Brougham. They used to get blown the F out. I mean, they were just boats. It's the way, I'll put it up as a separate picture. If I leave it there long enough, the camera will adjust. I don't know. But it's me. It's me doing my thing. Ta, 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 ta. What else? That's funny. And that was my M5. In case you want to know. Yeah, it does look good there. Yeah, it's a shitty way to show pictures. I'll pop them up one day. Was my M5. I sold that when what's his face made gas $7 a gallon. Jackass. All right, let's get back to all messages here. All right. Dun 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 dun. Better known as sleds. All right, what else? My mom likes that my cousin Vinny movie. Was I an extra? That's funny. I could have been an extra in that. I never watched that movie straight through. I had a friend who was just like my friend's father. He passed on, but he looked just like Joe Pesci. Just like, oh my goodness. He was just cool AF though. I was an extra in I don't even know if they used it. When I had the radio show, I was in a Palace Station commercial. I was in a Caesar's Palace commercial. I was in a Monte Carlo commercial, and one movie that Barry Pepper turned me on to, but I never ended up in the scene. I looked and I looked and I looked, and I just wasn't there. But anyway, do I freaking amuse you? Your neighborhood's getting snow this weekend, Miss Google? Yikes. All right. All right, come on with them questions. You like seeing the old Bror Fredrik pictures? I should just pop them all up, but sometimes I feel like I don't want people to misinterpret, like that I'm like flexing on it or whatever, different things. But I got interesting shit. I'll show you cool pictures. Want to see cool pictures real quick? I just passed a folder of freaking cool pictures. I don't like looking at the ones where I was like, only 2 short years ago, where I was like 25 pounds heavier, 30 pounds heavier. Those kind of get to me a little bit. But I'm going to get this arm fixed eventually, and I'll be able to get back to the place I was. That's a photo shoot I did. That's me. What up? That was downtown. Let's see, what else? What else can I show you? Dun, 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 dun. That was me at the top of the stratosphere back in the day. What pictures can I show you? Do you want to see pictures? I don't know. Is it doing anything for you? Let me see. I'll show you one more. Let's see. Da, 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 da. No, let's not say we did. How about that? What up? I gotta say, I look freaking cool there. I'm like, what up? Yeah, that's another one. See, I always had like a beard or a mustache. I was like freaking 20 back in that picture. But anyway, that was my sled. Oh, I found a picture of one of my sleds. Boss. That was a fast bike. That was an 1100 bored out to a 1305. All right, enough of that. Enough of that. I'm here to answer questions, not to show pictures. I'll ask again, do I wear makeup in a studio live stream? I've never worn makeup in my life. Does it look like I'm wearing makeup? Really? I mean, does it? I don't wear makeup. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with it. I mean, in certain situations for film and whatnot, yeah, and, might put on some makeup, but I've never. And no, I'm not wearing any makeup. You guys think I'm wearing makeup? That was an interesting question. No, I'm not. I know that someone said that the light catches my cheeks in a certain way and makes it look like I got punched in the face. But it is what it is. Let's see, what else? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, the suspect. I don't, that didn't even, Sintad? I don't even think it was the same dude. Those pictures do not look like the same person whatsoever. So I don't know. Yeah, those got mascara on. Yeah, I don't think that was the same dude whatsoever. Yeah, the studio lights are extraordinarily bright. I didn't figure that out until I went live. That one's killing me. But anyway, so what else what other questions? Let me get those questions. Bum, 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 bum. Let's pick a theme for the next photo review. If you want to do that aircraft thing, all right, I'll give you a choice now. Do you want to do aircrafts next? I mean, that I could break up into like 10 because I got like at least 500 of those. Do you want to see military aircrafts? I got everything from old P-51s to F-35s to Spookies, Hueys, Apache. I got everything. Or do you want to see nature? Because I also have Mount Charleston, Valley of Fire, Red Rock Canyon. You want to see nature? Or do you want to see some cool-ass military stuff? All right. All right, come on, people. Nature. Nature. New R&B or 60s soul? I would have to take 60s soul, like those soundtracks from dudes walking down the street. I would take that all day over like 99% of the new stuff that's out there. It just, I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me, especially that mumble rap that makes me just want to, like, I would rather chew on tinfoil than listen to some of this new music. And I can't, like I see people, they're just like getting down with it. And I'm just like, what are you actually hearing that what do you hear that I don't? Because my body is not, like I can get down, but not to that. It doesn't move. It doesn't penetrate my ears and make me want to not even tap my foot. It just makes me want to cringe, the music that they're producing right now. Yeah, Richard Roundtree passed away. Great Dane Mom. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. Yeah, Jackie Brown soundtrack. Abso-freaking-lutely. What is some... Yeah, I'm still thinking about that, Angie. I'm not letting myself off the hook. I got to think about that. Hibbity-bibbity-bibbity-bop. You went to the Valley of Fire from Star Trek? Yeah. Have I ever done macro photography? Yes. I got a bunch of those too. I used to do, when I first got on Facebook, which was, I think, Christmas Day 6 years ago. I mean, my personal page, I've abandoned it. The only reason I go to Facebook is to keep my finger on the pulse of what people's up to. I only have like 14 friends or whatever. I used to have 5,000. I just got rid of everyone. It was pointless. keep my finger on the pulse of Las Vegas in the Braw Nation Facebook page. Go ahead and join. I'll let you in. Most of you. And I used to do things like, with the macro lens. I used to take macro shots of stuff and then be like, what do you think this is? And I'd make people guess and, and that type of stuff. But yeah, I used to do a lot of watches. I love watches. Oh my God. When I scored the job for Rolex, I shot part of their calendar. It was one of the toughest jobs of my entire life, but it was just like, whoa. They didn't let me keep the watches though. But that was tough. Stuff like that, I had to shoot with a macro lens. Let me see if I have any macro stuffs. Probably not. Probably not. There's my buddy Frank. What up, Frank? Let me see if I can find a quick macro. Macro, where are you, macro? Let's scroll to the bottom. Probably not. I'll whip some of that out too. I have a whole folder of macro type stuff. Yeah. that was the entrance to my old studio. It was in the arts district. And they were constantly putting what they would consider art. I considered graffiti. That's how I used to set up to do photo shoots and all that up. I'll put all these pictures out one day and you can get down on them. Let's see what else. Nah, nothing else I really want to show. I was big 2 years ago. Damn, bro. Not like cracking the sidewalk big, but I was big. All right, let's get into more stuff. More questions. Bum, 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 bum. If I could make one rule that everyone had to follow, what rule would I make? I would heavily enforce the whole do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. That would be a rule. That would be, if people would follow that and stop feeling so self-entitled and just slow down for a second and say, well, I wouldn't like if someone did that to me, so let me not do that to other people. I would pound that into people's head. I think that's a sound way to live. Unfortunately, most people don't. But yeah. Thank you, Tom. What was the last photo I took? I think I'll tell you right now. I think the last photo I took was actually of, let me scroll. Why do iPhones start with the new picture on the bottom? Is there any way to fix that? Like Samsung's, the last picture I took is at the top. On the iPhone, the last picture you took is on the frickin' bottom, and you got to scroll for a month to get there. And I looked in the filters. If there's a way to make sure that the newest picture you took is at the top, someone let me know, because that's one of the reasons I don't take pictures with the iPhone, because it's a pain in the ass. Oh, let me find that picture I just took. Whereas the iPhone, all I do is open it up, bam. The first picture was that awesome corn tortilla pizza I made with bacon all over it. That was awesome. There's a picture of the suite I stayed in Nashville. It's pretty boss. I think that was a Marriott. Can't wait to travel. I love freaking travel. All right. Questions. Come on. Hit me with the questions. Hit me with... So you have an iPhone, and your new ones are at the top. I, Mine are not. No matter what I do, filter, this, that, they're always at the bottom. Like my oldest picture is the first, the newest picture is the last. And I'm like, it makes me freaking nuts. And I can't figure out how to change that. I mean, I'm not dumb. iPhones are just, I have an iPhone for business purposes because a lot of the stuff we do has to, business wise, has to cross platform and whatnot. So, I needed that and, got the iPadage, the whole bit. However, it's a pain in the ass. It's a freaking pain in the ass. Even like texting on an iPhone, up and like it doesn't, the keyboard, up and down and press another button just to find a period, then press it back to. Holy cow. How is that easier? Should I go there? Right. Okay. Tom Mac. I got the iPhone 4. That's a 14 Pro Max. And mine are always at the bottom. Exactly. Right. What is up with that? So you can spend more time on it so they could do more facial recognition and scan me? Conspiracy? Have I played the coin spitters at El Cortez yet? Yeah, I've played them. I played the my favorite old. I used to play that so much at the old Sahara. Not the old Sahara, the old Stardust, way back in the day. The Double Diamond Deluxe, where it would go like, like if it was off and it had the arrow, it would go chink chink, and then you'd go. Ah. That was the best. Yeah, I did that. That's fun. Those machines and those coins there are extraordinarily dirty compared to Circus, though. That's the only problem. In New York, they would call that yeah, that's a Fugazi ass. The Fugazi, you're right. Fugazi is not just for it's effed up. It's also, you could use it like this. See that guy over there? He's wearing that there Fugazi Rolex. So it's also used to denote like fake shit. He bought his wife a freaking Fugazi mink, But it's so weird that some guy named Fugazi opened up a Cadillac spot, and that's where I bought my Cadillac. But the first thing I did was take off that sticker. I went out there with a blow dryer, got that little Fugazi sticker off, freaking Fugazi Cadillac bastards. Yeah, it is bright in here. Holy brightness! I'm looking at that. I'm not looking at myself, but yeah, it's freaking bright in here. Let's see. What is my favorite movie? Rapid Dog. I would say I have favorite franchises of movies. I absolutely love the Predator movies. I never saw the one that everyone said sucked. The one where they were on a bus and some bullshit. My favorite of those two was the original one and Predators with an S, where they all got dropped on the hunting planet. But I like all things Predator related. And the Matrix. Love me some Matrix. I like everything about that because it is analogous to life. Are we living in a simulation? All that type of tinfoil hat type of stuff. And John Wick. Though, like those three franchises and two just happen to be Keanu in there. Yeah, like if they're on, there's a high likelihood I might be late for whatever I'm doing, or I might be watching it on my phone during a Zoom call or whatever. But yeah, I like those as franchises. Individual movies, I don't know. Because I tend to gravitate towards those franchises, but those are the three I like the most. Let's see. Dude, yeah, John Wick is just a freaking boss. Dun, 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 dun. Come on. Come on, we got time. We got plenty of time for questions. Either that, I'm gonna start eating some Fugazi pizza. Have I ever saved someone's life? Yeah, a lot of times. Um, yeah. Uh, Only one time the person didn't make it. Well, I did one live. We saved some dude who was having a sugar thing or whatever. I don't know if we actually saved his life, but we called the freaking ambulance and whatever. Um, when I was a kid, me and this guy Ralph, we got along a lot. This is like in the schoolyard. We got along, and then one day we just stopped getting along. And we went fisticuffs one day. And then after we went fisticuffs, we became friends again. Because that's kind of what guys do, right, guys? I mean, you ever get into like a fist fight with a dude, bloody noses, beating the crap out of each other, rolling around in glass and whatnot, and then you end up bonding and hanging out or whatever. But that's how it was with me and Ralph. And me and Ralph and everyone else in the schoolyard there, we was playing football, and I went to a Catholic school when I was a kid, only up until I think like this. I got thrown out, so go figure. Up until like the 6th grade or 7th, I think it was the 7th grade, they finally kicked me out. I think it was like the 6th grade or whatever, and the nuns, there was nuns. They wouldn't let us like play with footballs per se, So we used to use our thermoses. We used to throw freaking our thermoses and catch them, and just burning off steam, having fun. So we're having an impromptu football game, thermos ball, and Ralph hits the ground, just hits the ground, and I run up to him because now me and him are like bros, So I go running up to him. I was a kid, but whatever. And I'm just like, and he was unconscious. He was running and whatever, and just dropped in his tracks. So I'm trying to revive him, and I knew about like the chest thing, but I wasn't doing chest compressions. But I was feeling to see if his heart was beating, and it was beating and whatnot. And then they're like, oh, you got to do mouth to mouth. And, it's like, back then, mouth to mouth with a dude, would have been like a little weird. Now it's like, hey, so they kind of get me out of there. And they rang the bell. But I was like, I was doing this. I was doing that. He was alive, but I didn't know exactly what to do. All my other scenarios where, I assisted in saving someone's life, I was much older. So they got us all in. They put us all into our homeroom classes. All right, you little effers, get to your homeroom class. Everyone has a specific homeroom that they belong to. So we all went in there. And they were like, oh, okay, you got to pray for Ralph. I'm not going to say his last name. You got to pray for Ralph and da-da-da-da-da, because it's Catholic school and whatnot. And I was all down with tossing up the blessings. And they kept us there. This was like lunch, I don't know, maybe like 11 o'clock, but we didn't get out till 4. And by the end of the day, they would just like, they announced over the PA system, that all the teachers had to go out in the hallway or some such shit. And then all the teachers came back in the room, and I could tell. And her name was, I think it was Sister Rosellen. Sister Rosellen was a witch. Sister Rosellen comes back into class, and for the first time, like, she was a witch. She used to like take freaking sharpened pencils if you weren't paying attention. Fling them. And I remember she hit Tommy Cataldo in the freaking eye with a pencil once. Anyway, she came in with her head down and whatnot, and she's just like, class, I got something to tell you. and she announced that, Ralph died there on the spot and whatnot. I was kind of beat. I was kind of beat. I was like the first, besides like, my grandmother, when she died, well, not my grandmother, my great grandmother, when she died, I never seen like a straight up dead body before, but yeah, I saw my first, I was in proximity of my first dead person at, how old are you when you were in sixth grade? That kind of sucked. Anyway, I digress. Hey, bro, would you ever go to... Yeah, I would go to NASCAR race at the Speedway. Absolutely. I'm into it. I would do that. So, his title says, "Ask me anything." He should change that then. What do you mean? What, did I not answer your question? I can't answer them all. Ask it again if you want. Steve with the 5 Bananagramas. Mood change. Yeah, let's change the mood. Ralphie. Oh, Ralphie. It was weird that, like it was just like a week before that me and him were like beating the shit out of each other. I am so glad. Okay, so on a positive note, and then I'm gonna answer this question on a positive note. I'm glad it didn't drop while we were beating the shit out of each other. It turned out he had like a heart condition. He had like an aneurysm that, popped or whatever from exerting himself. It's like a birth defect. I'm glad it wasn't when we were beating the crap at each other, because we beat the crap at each other. It was a good fight. Mood change. Shirt is legit. You dig it? Do you want one, bro? I'll get you one. Let's see. What is the best way to wash lettuce or your produce? I'll tell you. Funny you ask. Let me drink some water. I'll tell you. Well, it's not water. It's coffee. Being that I told you the story about having to rip out the shower head washer that came in the kitchen. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It wasn't like a freaking Delta. It was a Kohler. It's no joke. I boxed it up. I'm going to put it back, for resale value. But it's like a freaking $400, $500 faucet, They spent some money on it, all freaking metal. I ripped it out to put the water purifier, because I don't want to drink the water, even after it passes through the whole house filter. Okay, so how do I wash my vegetables now? How do I wash my produce now? How do I wash my beans now? How do I rinse my stuffs now? Because obviously, it just comes out like this. So what am I going to do? Stand there with a strainer? Like I have the time in my life to wash my freaking romaine lettuce like this? What do you think I do with it? I'm a dude, right? What do you think I do with it? I don't do a Kramer. Has anyone ever saw that episode with Kramer on Seinfeld, where at the end of the episode he tells everyone that he actually takes a bath with his produce because he washes his produce and himself at the same time and then rinses it off, and he served everyone dinner? I don't do that, but I do because I have I got two showers, but my shower, the main, master bedroom shower, has a fixed shower head, and it has another shower head, and they're like the same shower heads, except this one comes off. I use the shower head. I take I take the strainer, which has a separate freaking bowl in the bottom. I carry it into my bathroom. I look around, make sure no one's looking, and no one is. But it's just such a weird thing, so it makes me go like this a couple times. And I freaking rinse my vegetables in the shower with cold, cold, cold water. And you can literally see, going into the shower, I have a standalone shower, and then I have the bathtub. It's not the bathtub, but in the standalone shower, you can literally see bugs and mice and tarantulas and snakes and dirt and so much shit washes out of it because there's so much pressure that comes out of that head, and it's cold, so it doesn't wilt it. So yeah, if you come to my house and eat salad, know that I washed it in the shower. Is that a bad thing? Is it? Is it? Why is that different than washing it in the sink? Why? Because I also get naked in there. So does nakedness linger and attach to all my produce? The fact that I was naked in there? Because I'm not washing it with frickin' soap. I'm not using Tiege Hanley on it or anything. Oh, shout out Tiege Hanley. I'm not using Tiege Hanley on it. But it was in the shower. I'm not naked in the shower. I'm not standing there and being like, all right, let me get undressed. And I bring my lettuce in there with me. No, I'm fully dressed. I'm outside. I slide the door. I leave it this open. I stick my hand in. And it takes like 2 minutes. Because it's so freaking powerful. That's a pro tip. Wash your lettuce in the shower. Is that a pro tip? And I'm not naked when I do it, so it's all good. Shower, washing salads is weird though. Yeah, it's bad. I don't know. It's got everything in there. I mean, when you blast it under that pressure, it's, for some reason, my shower head has so much more pressure than what comes out of the sink. I mean, because I ripped the good shit out, but yeah, it's done in 2 seconds. But everything, it comes out black. I just rinse it until it rinses clear. And then I go, and then I put it came with it was a set, a colander and a matching bowl. So it doesn't even drip when I go out there, and it's good. And it smells nice. And I do. So if you come over my house, know that I washed the lettuce in the shower, is what it is. I cannot get a sprayer installed on my kitchen sink. I had one, an expensive one, a Kohler, full-blown metal. It was like a work of art. It's like a sculpture. I yanked it out and put a more normal one. It's still like one of these, but I have a water purifier attachment onto it. I mean, even when I boil water, no matter what I do with water, it's getting through there because the water here in Las Vegas is nasty. It's freaking nasty. I mean, they put enough chemicals into it that it probably kills all the bacteria, but I know so much about the health detriment of fluoride and chloride and all the other shit they put in the water that I ain't drinking it. I ain't drinking it. Salad's okay, clams and hot dogs, not so much. clams and hot dogs sounds good. Okay, so not naked, but the snakes. There's all sorts of shit. I found, I mean, if you don't wash your salad, don't buy that bullshit. I mean, buy, like B-Y. Well, buy. Like when they say your salad's pre-washed, I don't buy pre-done stuff. I like to, for me, it's cathartic, cutting up all my veggies and doing my thing and whatnot and showering with it. But if you buy pre-washed, wash that shit too. If it says pre-washed, it does not matter because once they seal it in that bag, it could still be growing all sorts of freaking bacteria and shit in there. Wash everything. And get the pesticide off it. There's some places, like certain parts of the Salinas Valley, they found human feces in samples that come out of the Salinas Valley. I mean, what they irrigate with is disgusting up there. I mean, if in the Salinas Valley, and there's a couple other places, cow pasture here, farm here, and it's like cross-contaminating. Wash your stuff. Wash your stuff. And do it in the shower, because it only takes 60 seconds. Is that the same place that, who took the onions? Is that the same place you? Which place? What place are we talking about? What's going on, Kevin? I'll probably run into you tomorrow night. I don't know what that is in reference to. Um, don't shower with a cucumber. I already do. I spray white vinegar on it. Yeah. You know, I mean, you don't have to buy the salad washes, but white vinegar will definitely do the job. As long as you don't name your salad. How you doing, salad? How you doing? You're awesome. Love your stream. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Oh, I just got this freaking Mint Mobile dude is out of control. He's like every freaking 5 seconds. Well, I wouldn't say 5. He's more ubiquitous than that guy with the freaking spiky blonde hair on the strip. That makes me nuts. All right, let's get more questions. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, that's what I do. I buy the 3-pack of the romaine hearts. Me too. How about that? I mean, I don't care the brand, but I always look to see if it's from the Salinas Valley or not. Because I think the people who pick the lettuce, they're just like dropping deuces right in the freaking. Most of the stuff when they do a recall for like E. coli and all that shit comes out of the Salinas Valley, and that's where a lot of the produce that ends up in Las Vegas ends up. Is that the same place? I still want to. Do you think Vegas is more landlord friendly than California? Abso-freaking-lutely. If you're a renter, as a landlord, you have more rights in Las Vegas than your renters. You can literally get someone evicted out of your place in 10 days. You can give them a quit. What do they call that? Pay or quit on day 5. Like at 5 p.m., 5 days. On the 7th day, you could start eviction proceedings. If they're not paid up, on the 10th day, they're gone. They will literally send a sheriff here to escort them out and put some shit up on your door. 10 days. But at the same time, that's why it's problematic. That's the same reason why everyone's rent went up 50 to 100% during the shutdown or whatever, because renters here have absolutely no rights whatsoever. No rights. So does that make it landlord friendly? Absolutely. You can get some deadbeats. You know that with 2 weeks at a max, you can get someone the hell out of here. Where you hear horror stories in California, like New York, that people are squatting for like 8 months and they just can't get them out and whatever. Here, you're gone. 10 days, you're served. I mean, they will literally come, change your locks, and put, I don't have personal experience, but I've seen it. They will put the police tape on the door, and then if you break that tape to go in and get your shit, because you're just coming home like just praying, they didn't toss your crap out yet, and you break that line, it's a felony. Then you get felony breaking and entering into your apartment on the 10th or 11th day. So it is very landlord friendly here. I used to have an uncle that cleaned all his cucumbers in the washer. Yeah, I'd say that would be the way to go. If you're in a survival situation, all you got to do is grab like a cucumber or an apple and slide. Where is it? Where's the official box opening knife? Olight, shout out Olight, link in the description. Best damn EDC gear known to man. Slide the edge of the knife like this. See, I'm not cutting myself. Slide it like that on your cucumber. Not your cucumber, but your cucumber. Or your apple. And get all the wax. And let it gather on a little bit of tinder. And it'll go up like that. If you're ever in a survival situation. Because they do coat them with nasty wax. And it also has some natural wax to it. Yeah, I imagine Mint Mobile is kind of scam-olish. Did America ever put a man on the moon? Hmm. I don't know. I don't know if I 100% buy it that we went to the moon. But then again, they say that the you can't say the name of the people because that's another a YT issue. The guy used to have the funny mustache like this. You know who I'm talking about? His name begins with an H. And his party of all the people who followed him, those a-holes, you know what I'm talking about? They say they're living on the moon. They said they've had like outposts up there since the 40s because they got a hold of alien technology. And they also say that the Earth is flat except for this little core where all the reptiles live because the original species on Earth were reptilian. I don't know. What do you say, Tribble? Let's see what the Tribble has to say. Nah, he says they never went to the moon. No, no, he says he's half. No, Tribble says we never went to the moon. So he's been to space. He's been on the Enterprise, so he knows. All right, let's see. Dun, 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 dun. You can see the moon land. Wow. Who's a better captain? Are we talking the Tribble is wise. The Tribble has knowledge. It's like 1,000. The Tribble came from the future. It traveled back in time almost 300 years to be here. So it knows a lot of shit. So I take his word for it. The best captain, Kirk or Pike? Um if I'm choosing between Kirk and Pike, it's Kirk all day. Pike, the new Pike with the freaking croissant haircut, with a bouffant haircut, whatever it is, and he's trying to be so suave and all. I don't know if I'm down with that whole thing or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I mean they're both probably getting knocking boots equally, but Kirk was more adventuresome. Kirk could punch one of the giant lizard people of Gorn right in the face. I'd like to see Pike do that, but uh, let's see. As a whole, Kirk always got a special place in my heart, but Captain Sisko was just a boss. Captain Sisko was just boss AF. Why did my YouTube just shut down and gave me an unexpected error? And it told me I can resume watching now. Gee, thanks. All right, let's get back over there. All right, come on. Questions. We got like 15 minutes. Just got back from the beach. We have a full moon tonight. Wow. Newport Beach is beautiful. I love Newport Beach. I stayed there. When was the last time? Like 3 years ago. Yeah, I think it was about 3 years ago. I love Newport Beach. I think Newport Beach is just freaking awesome. Yeah. Freaking croissant head. After F1, is all them stands coming down? Probably. I mean, yes, maybe it took a month to put them up, but they'll come down in a day or two. Things get built slower. Taking shit down is, they'll have it done like that. However, I still am in the tinfoil camp of they might leave some type of structures up there permanently. Because I think the end game is to eliminate all vehicular traffic on the strip. That's just my opinion. I think eventually they'll have a northbound and a southbound tram in the middle. They'll pass and they'll have little stations. There'll be like 200 freaking Fat Tuesdays, and it'll be like open for pedestrians. But of course, it won't be like city park and walk your dog. They'll just smother it with freaking retail. But that's my concept. That's my idea. Da, 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 da. This November is the 60th anniversary. Will they reveal the truth? Nah, they never will. However, okay, let's see how. Okay, I want this not to get spanked too hard. Let me think of a way to code this, and then I got to get back to that question that I've been postponing. I haven't really been thinking about it, but I'll come up with an answer. There's a woman who worked for a guy, and he ended up in the Crossbar Hotel. However, he never made it out of the Crossbar Hotel. And his first initial was, well, his second initial of his last name was an E. The woman who worked for this person, currently in the Crossbar Hotel, her second initial is an M, and she has black short hair. It's been announced that she's ready to drop some names concerning the transactional relationship between her and the other guy who never made it out, whose name ended with an E. Scam likely. Shut that off. You know what I'm getting at? And some of the names that she's gonna bust with are big. Like the guy who came up with that back there. And one time he had one that had an XP in it. And now he buys up farmland. And then he gives medical advice, even though he's not a doctor. Oh, I think that one got me in trouble. Damn, I think I took it too far. I can't help myself. I try to behave, but I can't help myself. You know what I'm talking about? But that person's going to drop his name, supposedly, very soon, because she's tired of being in the Crossbar Hotel. A lot of foreclosures. We are the foreclosure capital of the United States here in Las Vegas. We are also the unemployment capital. We are also the lowest educated. We have the worst school system, the most foreclosures, lowest education, and what's the other one? One of the highest car thefts. And we were just named the 155th safest city. And everyone's like, wow, 100. Since when does being 155th on a list of being the safest place is a good thing? That's the news here is so stupid, and they are so on tip riding whatever they're told to do. The news here is just deplorable. They're just deplorable. But I digress. They're trying to brag that us being the 155th safest city in America is like a freaking accomplishment. It's, what is it, out of like 160? Wouldn't you want to be number one? So there is 154 other major cities that are safer. I mean, if it's out of 10,000, you're in the top 15%, barely. But I don't think there's 10,000 major cities in America by the standard of having 1 million or more, or 2 million or more. There's not. It's got to be in the hundreds. So we're at 155, and they're on the news today. And this is channel whatever, and guess what? We've been named the 155th. Oh, you mean what you're saying is it's not too safe here? What you're saying is at least 10 people get whacked here a day. Is that what you're saying? All right, gotcha. No, not 10, 3. Sam. Kevin, yes. Yes. You got it. And I'll admit, I ate half of one of those chocolate bars last night. I ate half straight up, and the other half, I went into my natural peanut butter, and I scooped it out, and I buttered that chocolate with some peanut butter, all natural, and I ate it. Before bed. It was freaking awesome. I loved it. Yeah, I guess better than 156, but not as good as 153. Yeah, this town's getting buck wild. I mean, I don't even like the. It's getting buck wild. Oh, ranking in medical care? I mean, we have an expression here in Las Vegas. If you're going to die, you better fly. That's literally a thing here, because either they're inadequately staffed, trained, or you will just never get to see them. So if you're going to die, you better fly. That's just a thing. Andrew N. with the 10 banana rammers. Bork. We'll let that go. Bork. What are your prerequisites for dating a woman? And would you play Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins to a feminist that realized she made a mistake by waiting until 40 to having tried kids? If I had it queued up, I would press that button in a heartbeat. But you know the way I feel about that. I mean, at 30, most women are freaking slamming face first into the wall of life, I mean, we all know that. That's a given, but they've been indoctrinated with, oh, you got to go make your money and get your career and ride the freaking D carousel, and that's all excusable, and then you settle down once you get your crap together. But then at that point, you're not really desirable to most men as a partner. So yeah, Danger Zone. Let's see. What are my prerequisites? No body count. So that means I have to literally wait outside a convent to someone who's either coming or going from one, or so extraordinarily low, or just a really good liar about it, like really good. Has to be feminine. Has to be very feminine. I think we covered this already. Has to be cooperative. Has to be agreeable. And when I say agreeable, doesn't mean has to agree with everything I say. Agreeable just means the opposite of being disagreeable. Disagreeable. Talk to the hand. That's not what I heard. Like D-measuring with me. That's being disagreeable. I'm the only one who's got a D, not you. So that would be that. And the other one would be, I don't know. The other one is debatable, but I like, I like my women to have a degree of being able to submit to me as a man, and trust. See, I use submission or submit and trust interchangeably. If you trust me, you'd be okay with, my counsel for you. Define it as submission or not, but it's still an act of trust. If I have a proven track record of doing the right thing, giving wise counsel, then you should just trust me. Does that make sense? All right, cool. I show 86. You are welcome. I'll see ya. Is that a good answer? I'll get into all the conversations about that. I have no problem. Only 16 likes? Oh, 86. That's better. All right, let me jump over. I want to make sure I didn't miss any super chat activities. No, I did not. Let's get back over to all messages. What do we got? We got a few minutes left. Let me fire that back up. Yeah, it is extraordinarily bright in here. Da, 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 da. That shut everyone up, didn't it? That got everyone real quiet. Yeah, it's a freaking slanted narrative. For absolutely sure. Ba 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 ba. What are you talking about? Diane, I are even Steven. No submission. I'm not saying you have to. He asked me what I like. You know? So you guys are even. So okay, let me get this straight. So do you consult with her on all your decisions? Just curious. Or do you make decisions on your own and go with those, and she makes her own and goes with those? Or do you vote? Because there's only two, so you can't. Like, how does that work? So who leads? Just out of curiosity. I don't care what you do. I want to know how people function. You know? How does that work? Does she lead? Do you lead? Someone's got to lead, right? Otherwise, you're just going in circles. You know? I mean, in any relationship I'm involved in, I just prefer to lead. Because, you know, I do. You know, I'm not going to justify it, but so who leads? So who makes the decisions? Is everything joint? Where should we go? I want to go to the Bahamas. You want to go to Las Vegas. So who wins? Who wins? Who wins? Do you have like a tiebreaker? You know, like something like that? I don't know. How does that work? Do you like roll dice or something? I don't know. I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm just curious how that works. Ba, 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 ba. Great Dane Mom says, absolutely. If you want to hover over her, it's not cool. I won't say anything about hovering over anyone. But I just choose to lead. Like, okay. All right, girls' night out. Oh, you want to go to girls' night out? No. I put my foot down. Because I know nothing good is going to come from that. Oh, it's just my friends, and we're going to go see Thunder from Down Under. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. The locks will be changed when you're back. It's not an insecurity thing. It's a respect thing. Respect me as a man. So if she wants to go to Thunder from Down Under on girls' night out, you're just like, whatever. Okay. You know, but equally, I don't go to titty bars. You know, I'm not going to ask anything of my partner that I ain't willing to do myself. Whoever makes the reservations. So it's like a race. So live in a world of... This is interesting. I like to know how vanilla people do stuff. It's interesting. Sean B says, love the shirt. I'm digging it. I'm in a mood. Oh, now I'm going to add a whole hour to this. This is a trip. We make decisions together. We throw out choices and come to a conclusion. And, okay. So if my girl wants to go to a movie by herself, would you be upset? If she's going to go see some, you know, cloaked frickin', you know, like half the past few James Bond movies were for women. They obviously were not for guys. You know, every guy knows that because we looked at it and we're like, I ain't a chick. What do I watch this for? If she wants to go see 50 Shades of Grey, Um, no. If she says, I want to go to the movies by myself here in Las Vegas at Sam's Town, I'd be like, no. I'll go with you. Or someone's got to, but for her own safety. Not because, oh my God, she's all by herself. Ooh. It's not about that. Something could happen to her. Then it's on me. You know? And then I got to go bust someone up or do something or whatever. Go to Sam's Club by herself to go watch a movie at 9:30 at night? You know? Walking through a dark parking lot by herself in Las Vegas? No. I would say no. And if she's like, well, I took that Taibo class in 2014, I'd be like, no. You know? If she wants to go to the book club with her friends or whatever, I don't care. What do I care? It's not about control. But if my brain as a man says, I'm not comfortable with you going to a nightclub with all your single friends on a Saturday night with a $5 freaking dress from Rainbow on and heels this big with all your single friends, I ain't comfortable with that, so no. She best listen. Because I'm worth listening to. If not, find someone else who's okay with it. One of them losers who thinks like, oh, I don't care what she does because at least she comes home to me. I'm the one who she comes home to. Yeah, after... You better go get yourself checked, bro. I don't play that game. That's loser shit. In that case, it would be my way or the highway. She wants to go to the book club. She wants to go, crafting with her friends. I don't give a shit. 9 o'clock at night. I don't care. But am I as a man, gonna be okay with my woman walking through a parking lot in Las Vegas? Going to a parking garage? I look over my shoulder in parking garages in Las Vegas. What kind of man would I be if I let her by herself do that? I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. If anything happened to her, God forbid. But you gotta have boundaries. But my boundaries might be completely different than anyone else's, And that's okay. That's the beauty of it. I'm not saying it's my way is what you have to emulate, but I do, I find how other people handle their relationships equally interesting. Because the way I believe is simple. The house should be built on a firm foundation, right? And if we all have a blueprint, stick framing, we build it, we frame it out, we sheathe it, we slap a roof on it, we slap windows in it to make it airtight so that's habitable. How you freaking paint it, what color fixtures you get, what color carpet you get, what color blinds you get, what color you paint your rooms, who cares, It's not for anyone else to judge, So as much as I don't judge how other people handle their relationships, don't judge me either. Learn from me if you want. If not, I don't really care. But it's up to each individual. If it works for them, fine, If what works for me, fine, That's the way a relationship should be. Yeah, so see, women right away, that's true for her safety. Women, and I'm not pointing my finger at you, Venus, but women right away, whenever a man asserts himself in his relationship, women almost automatically go towards some diabolical plan. Like men are just like, I can't wait to send her back to the Middle Ages. Why is that? Why can't it just be something innocent like I care about her safety because I love her? I don't want any harm coming to the person I love. Why can't it just be that innocent? Why is All women have this thing that men are like, oh, I gotta control her. Oh, I want her barefoot and pregnant, which isn't necessarily bad, but oh, why is it like that? Now, if a boss, why are women more like, if a boss says, get me a coffee, she says, yes, sir. I know exactly how you like it. And she brings him a coffee. Husband says, hey, can you bring me a coffee? She's like, fuck you, get it yourself. I'm not your servant. So women are more okay with serving a stranger in exchange for a couple of green and white pieces of paper than her husband and her family? What kind of crap is that? you know? Is that serving your man? Well, you serve a boss every time you go to work. Every time you go to work, unless you're in one of these all-women safe space freaking businesses, you're serving the patriarchy. Every single one of you. And you can't bring your husband a cup of coffee? You're going to make him get up himself? How's that? Should I pay you? Hey, wait, okay, yeah. How much you make an hour? All right. Oh, okay, I'll put you on the clock when you make dinner. Is that what women want? Okay. Why is it always like men have some diabolical agenda if they tell their women no? Why? You shouldn't say no to a woman. Why? 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 Why is that bad? No, I don't want you going to Sam's Town for the 9 o'clock showing of 50 more shades of gray and walking through the parking lot. No. Why is that wrong? Why is that diabolical? Oh, he's so controlling and insecure. To love someone? Is loving someone just letting them run willy-nilly? Yeah, sure, honey. Go walk through that dark, dank, skanky Boulder Highway frickin' parking lot. Good on you. I'll be here watching football with my hand down the pants. What the actual F is that? Is that a man? That's a man-child. Is that a woman who would want to do that and be like, F you, bro. I took a Thai boat class. I'm walking through that parking lot in the dead of night. I don't care what you say. You can't control me. I'm a strong, independent woman. Really? Okay. Unless you live in Shangri-La somewhere, then maybe at 9 o'clock at night, when we're in heaven, I'll let her go. On that note, is jealousy normal in a relationship or a major red flag? Depends. Jealousy as a man is ugly. It's ugly. Because the word jealousy, gotta keep an eye on my clock. The word jealousy, want to go down this road? We'll go down this road. I might fire up a Bror Fredrik after dark tomorrow. If you want to talk about these topics passionately and deeply, I'll pop back on after tomorrow's night's live stream. When I get back here, we'll talk about that all night. Unfortunately, I got like 5 minutes. Jealousy is ugly in a man, but the word jealousy now means everything. You don't want me to go to the movies, you're jealous. It's like a buzzword. Jealousy, the technical definition of jealousy is thinking in your mind that she's gonna find someone better than you at the movies, that she's gonna fall in love with the guy on the screen because he's better than you at the movies, that if she walks out of the house, she's gonna find someone better than me. That's what jealousy is. That's what jealousy is. It's not everything. It's not an all-encompassing buzzword that women love to toss around. Insecurity and jealousy. It's the two freaking, I'm going to shut your ass down buzzwords now, which have lost their meaning. The true meaning of jealousy is fearing that the guy across the street is going to come along and flex his pecs and take your woman. F that. First of all, I wouldn't be with a woman who's that soft in the frickin' brain that she can be manipulated that easily. That's number one, because I'll vet her first and make sure she's not that type of woman. And number two, in my mind, I'm walking around going, who's better than me anyway? As a man, you have to have confidence in who you are. As a man, as a partner, as a lover, you have to have confidence in that. I don't care what you look like. You have to have confidence in that. So jealousy? Who the actual F am I jealous of? You know, and you should feel the same way too. All you people out there should feel the same way. Why should I be jealous? You know, oh, I'm jealous of the guy on the freaking cellulose up there. No, I just don't want to get killed in the parking lot. One has nothing to do with the other. So jealousy is irrelevant. Now, so that's coming from a man. So if a man is truly exhibiting textbook jealousy, ditch him. I'll tell you that. I'm not totally man-centric. Ditch his ass, because that is weak and insecure, and you will have nothing but drama and problems being with a man who's truly jealous. I'm protective. I'll admit that. I'm territorial and I am protective, but I am not jealous. Because if someone could actually take her away, jump down off a freaking screen and take her, have her. Whatever. You know, so what? So what? I'm still me. And I'll get over it in a little bit. So freaking what? You know, but I know she'll still be thinking of me years from now. Go. That's my take. Now, a little jealousy in a woman can be endearing. It's kind of, I mean, it can be kind of sexy. It could be kind of endearing. It can be kind of, you know, just like a little, yeah, it could be a little endearing. But if you're going to live your life that you can't make moves in business, you can't make decisions that will propel your future and her future forward without her interjecting her jealousy into it, such as, how'd that business meeting go 3 hours? Where'd you go after that? No, that's not cute anymore. That's thwarting both of us. That's thwarting me as a man from slaying my dragons, and you're ultimately going to get the benefit thereof. So you're effing us both up. So that type of jealousy, I ain't playing. That has to be. But a little can be cute. But if it's interfering, if it becomes like, you know, every night she's like, you know, sniffing your balls and whatnot, you know, no, no, just don't go there, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah, she had the propensity to do it. That's why you got to vet her. And you know what? I mean, quite frankly, in the grand scheme of things, the last thing I'll say, why is body count important? Body count, you know, being the amount of partners an individual has had. It's a relatively new term that I have to use now. The higher the body count, this applies, I've read all the studies, this applies more to women than to men. Men are wired different. Men like to take ownership. Oh, women hate that word. Men like to take ownership in their relationships for the most part, unless they're spending their time demeasuring with their partner. You know, you take ownership of it, you take pride in it, you know. Women, the more partners they have, it inhibits their ability to pair bond as time goes on. More partners, less likely to end up staying solidly in a relationship and pair bonding. We pair bond the same way penguins do, the same way all other mammals do. We have pair bonding capabilities. Some call it love, some call it chemistry, whatever it happens to be. Men and women pair bond. So the fewer partners a woman has, the greater her capacity to pair bond with a man. So you go with some woman who's been ran through by 3 basketball teams and now she's ready to settle down. The chances of her pair bonding with you are like nil because she'll inevitably be comparing you to the 30 other guys who she's bedded. And you don't want to be in that position because you'll always be thinking, when she says, hey, I want to go to this restaurant, you'll always be thinking, who do you go to that restaurant with? How do you know that hotel? You know, it's destructive. It's destructive. You know, it's just, you just can't turn off being a 304. So pair bonding is a big deal, you know, and the more partners a woman has, and like I said, it does not apply to men. Go read the studies if you don't believe me, but they actually have it figured out in percentages, how it drops with each partner. Like once a woman gets past, I think 4, it just starts. I mean, if 1, 2, 3, 4 is still going on the downslide. But after 4, it's like falling off a freaking cliff in terms of pair bonding. So, I mean, never ask a woman questions that you don't want the answers to. I wouldn't be like, hey, what's your body count? You know, because, you know, it could be a lie, it could be this, but you kind of figure shit out after a while, you know? But it is what it is. I think we're done talking about that. But if you want to do a whole topic on that, I'll get down with it. Yeah. It's give and take in our marriage. I don't decide things big on my own. We talk about it together. Yeah, you should. Like okay, I keep saying this is the last thing I'm going to say. Any guy who doesn't listen to his partner, the woman that he's with, is a freaking fool. You know, just even if she trusts you and you're a take charge kind of guy in your relationship, and you want to make the decision where you're going to move and this, that, and the other shit because you're propelling, you know, your business forward and we're growing together and yada, yada, yada. You're a fool not to ask the opinion and get the counsel and have a discussion about it. You're an idiot. It's like the president has his cabinet too, you know? Your family is your cabinet as a man. So, yeah. But, you know, if it's emotional based, because women are more likely to make emotional based decisions. Men are more likely to make logical based decisions. It's just how we're wired. That's the truth. We all know that. So somewhere it's gotta, you know, cross purposes a little bit. Because you can't make only logical decisions, because that'd be effed up. You can't make only emotional decisions, because that's effed up. There has to be some, you know, parity there. So yeah, I have no problem with that whatsoever. But it's like, you know, well, I want to stay in this town because it's got the best yoga studio. Pack your bags. We're gone. You know what I'm saying? This is it. Find you a nice yoga studio. I'll give you a whole yoga studio in the house. Whatever. There's no one over there, by the way. I didn't check out this angle today. Does it look boss from this side? Looks shiny AF. All right. I got a jet, people. You're acting. You are reciting all the reasons I'll never marry a guy. I hear you, bro. I mean, guys are just, you know, kind of over it. I mean, you got to admit, I think guys are waking up to the fact that, yes, dear, and happy wife, happy life. Okay, if women don't like submission, all right, I'll leave you with this. Then I'm definitely going. I'll leave you with this. Let me move right up into the mic. If women think submission is such a horrible word, it's a 4-letter word, submission. I'm not submitting. I'm not going to be cooperative. I'm not going to be agreeable. Then what is it that you want from men? Isn't it submission? Isn't it submission too? Happy wife, happy life. So that means we have to revolve our lives to please the woman, because I have to make her happy. Because if my wife, my partner, is not happy, she is capable of making my life miserable. That's what's been talked about since like the 60s. Happy wife, happy life. So who's really in submission? Who in the feminist world, don't you believe that men should be in submission? Happy wife, happy life. But if we say the same thing, happy husband, better life. And I'm going to invite you one last time to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell button to get notified when I do this again, which will be tomorrow night. We'll be out on the strip. And if you guys want to, let me know. I'll continue down this path and do a Bror Fredrik After Dark, because I love it. And I'm not judging you, and I hope you're not judging me, but let's put our heads together and let's talk about these things. This is fun for me. I enjoy it. I want to hear your opinions too. And I appreciate everyone's support. I appreciate the super chats today, and I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And on that note, Bror Fredrik out.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.